Okay, hi everyone. We've got a great episode tonight with two members of our firm, one of whom is here for the first time. Mariya,
yes,
welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
Yay, finally.
Finally, yes.
I've been with the firm for a while, but haven't had the chance to be on the podcast.
She has a very busy practice.
Joe
everyone.
finally caught up to you and asked that you be on it. And of course, we've had Yuvika many times.
Hi.
So interesting episode tonight. For those of you who follow hockey, the case really doesn't need much introduction. It involves the 5 hockey players that are now NHL players who've been charged with sexual assault. For those of you who don't follow hockey, like myself, because I do other things other than watch hockey, this case involves 5 members of Canada's 2018 World Junior Hockey team who are alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman in a hotel room in London, Ontario, after a Hockey Canada gala. For those of you who have been following it, you're probably aware they've been charged. They surrendered to London police. They've had their first court appearance, and the case will now unfold. Just briefly, because Mariya is going to get into this more than I am in terms of details, this alleged attack took place early morning hours at a gala that was taking place following their big win. They were honored for winning the gold medal, and it was party time. So what happened, according to the complainant in this case, on that evening, she went to a bar in downtown London where she met some members of the junior hockey team. They were at a pub, they were celebrating, and she, connected with one of the players, slowly became intoxicated, and at one point left with one of those players. Both of them went back to a hotel, and they engaged in sexual activity.
Consensual.
Consensual, thank you for that footnote. So up to that point, everything was cool, everything was okay. They met up, they hooked up, they went to a hotel. Then things changed, took a turn. She claims that the player she started out with then invited his teammates into the room without her knowledge, and for the next several hours she was allegedly sexually assaulted by the team. Well, not the whole team, but
8 members.
Eight in
members,
total.
8 in total, and
Allegedly.
I know you like to say that a lot.
But only 5 were charged.
Mariya, over to you. What happened after that?
Right.
This has so many twists and turns before they even get to criminal court.
Right. So she, the complainant, went to file the report with police. The police have
Not long after, right? A few days.
Right, pretty shortly after.
Yeah.
Then the police have done investigation. They decided that there's no grounds here for to arrest any of the players for sexual assault, and they closed the case.
Right.
Now, in 2022, the complainant civilly sued Hockey Canada for $3.5 million, and this was quietly settled.
As most of these cases often are.
And we're going to talk about a fund
Yes.
for sexual assault cases later on. So this was settled, but the media found out about it, and there was a huge public outcry, and the investigation was reopened, even though I think they're not really admitting that that's why it reopened, because of the public outcry. But to me, it sounds like that's why they reopened the case in 2022. Have done more investigation. That's what they're claiming. I think they're saying additional witnesses were interviewed. They found more evidence, and they charged 5 hockey players.
But there are a lot of open-ended questions here. Like, we don't know what was the amount that it was settled for. We don't know why it was settled. What exactly happened?
We don't know. Those are questions that have not been released to the public
Not
yet.
yet, we know.
But we know.
Well, this is one of the issues that the public had or has, is that apparently Canada Hockey has a fund for sexual assault suit cases, civil cases, not just any criminal cases or just general
Specifically for sexual assault.
specifically sexual assaults, just sexual assaults.
I don't think it has that label, though.
That's what it says, but anyway.
It gets worse, though, because the funds for these settlements,
Yeah,
there have
where are
been
they coming
several. I
from?
think there's probably been I think over time there's been 18 or more settlements of these types of cases. The money is apparently from registration fees that are paid into Hockey Canada's fund for parents paying for their kids to belong, something along those lines, right?
Right, so it's coming from the registration fees, parents are paying for it, and nobody was aware that there's this fund, that the money is going into this fund, and there's payments made out of this fund. So, and I think I've read that the sponsors were freezing their contributions. They were outraged about it.
They were, and then subsequently I think they reinstated some of them.
Some.
Well, there's money involved, so.
Right. Yeah. Some did. So there's that layer.
Right. Talk a bit. We've heard there's been some evidence that's trickled out with respect to the allegations.
Right. So there's a footage which was shown to reporters by lawyers representing some of the players. And apparently it shows the complainant in the hotel room, and a male voice can be heard saying, "Are you okay?" And she says, "I'm okay with that." And then there's a video where the complainant is covering herself with the towel. And then she says, "Are you recording me?" "Okay, good. It was all consensual. You're so paranoid, holy. I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was all consensual. I am sober. That's why I can't do this right now." And there was also text messages between the complainant and the player that she initially
The initial guy.
met at the bar.
Right.
And she said that in the messages, she's saying that her mother spoke to her.
Right.
And her mother called police against her wishes.
So she didn't even call the police.
Right. It's her mother.
Okay.
So apparently somehow the mother found out that she was having sexual activities with players, and reported to police. And the player wrote, "You said you were having fun." And she wrote, "I was really drunk, didn't feel good about it at all after, but I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble," she replied. "I was okay with going home with you. It was everyone else afterwards that I wasn't expecting. I just felt like I was being made fun of and taken advantage of."
Mm-hmm. How many times have we seen that before in our cases?
As I hear her speak, I feel like all the layers that you
Yes.
as defense counsel are going to peel when it actually goes to trial.
Start peeling.
Well, we do, there is a lot of cases where the complainant is drinking, having a good time, there's a sexual intercourse, and then, the next day, regrets, I'm not happy I've done it.
Talks to the parents.
Yeah, talks to sometimes
Somebody,
girlfriends,
friends,
friends, parents, and I think even, anyway, maybe not in this case, but in a lot of our cases, the friends are also very encouraging to report. They're all saying.
Or even if it was not sexual assault, other people may convince you that it would be, or that they were sexually assaulted.
I feel
Sure.
like some cases are for sure.
I've had
feel like
that,
they're
for
really
sure.
telling you were wrong. This was. It sounds like you were sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Right. That's happened. I've had those cases. Typically parents, young women. What happened to you shouldn't have happened. I'm calling the police,
I've had that
regardless.
with friends who
Oh,
are,
really?
they're all into social media, Me Too movement, and they're all like, no, you drank alcohol. That's it. You couldn't have consented, right? There's
Yeah,
that
I think
layer
there's the
too.
lack of knowledge that just because you drink alcohol means that you're incapable of consenting.
Right.
No, that's not what the law is.
Of course.
You can still have the capacity to consent depending on how much you've consumed.
Right.
So just
Talk about some of the layers you're seeing here.
I don't know. I'm very interested to know, after speaking with the mother and the mother called the police, how did the mother find out? What does she say? What was the circumstances in which, it was disclosed to the mother that, hey, I was involved in a situation like this? The video, which I believe she's claiming that she was directed or she was intimidated to saying certain things on the video.
And I think the question about the video is that, was she saying it after she was having sexual activities with different players, or was it after just the first one? Like, we don't have the timeline sort of to place the video as well.
Not yet, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of gaps in the case. That's the issue with you do not have enough information just yet to make a very convincing argument that no, this is what happened. We don't even know half of the stuff. That's the problem. But yeah, I mean, you would speculate. Like, I'm interested to know, like, what were the circumstances in which this was disclosed to the mother? Why was it followed up with, the message that she sent to the individual,
right?
The first, whoever she was having the consensual sex with. I don't know. There are just a lot of questions. Make me want to scratch my head.
Right. Well, I think she says in one of the civil filings that she made that she says that this document that she filed with the court on the civil side, that the document indicates she later told the police she was not aware the first clip was recorded.
Yeah.
With the second video, she said she felt she had to say she was fine because she was stuck in a room with these guys. So there's a level of, at least in her mind, that she felt somehow intimidated into that.
But if she wasn't aware the first clip was recording, that would mean that
What would
she
that
wasn't
mean?
intimidated.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Maybe.
Is it Hollywood calling just because you're appearing on the podcast?
It's the clients. It's always.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mariya. Yes.
Okay, so go ahead. You look like you're going to say something.
No, I was just going to say that also Hockey Canada hired
A criminal law firm.
criminal law firm to conduct a separate investigation, which the investigation was done. They have a report, but they cannot share the findings because there's an appeal. One of the parties appealed the decision in the report, and we were just discussing it, whether it could have been the complainant or whether she wouldn't be considered a party, and then would it be one of the accused? Yeah. It's still the beginning.
There's so many question marks here. Generally speaking, though, what Yuvi, the impact of the civil settlement, relevant?
Of course it's relevant.
Okay, so how would you use a civil settlement?
Well, it comes down to the motive to fabricate. As a defense lawyer, I don't have to put a motive forward.
Right.
It's not something I have to do. But that's just me. I like to put a motive if I see that there is a motive. At least I would like to speculate. Like, okay, fine, there was a civil lawsuit. What did you get? How much did you get? Was it... I don't know what is the reason of why, this criminal case is proceeding forward now when things
That's
were...
also an interesting question, though, right?
Yeah.
It was closed.
Right, by the police.
By police. So there was obviously some investigation done.
Right.
Did they see those videos? They spoke to the players. We don't know, right? But somehow they decided to close it. And then it was reopened to what I think was a public outcry. That's the reason they opened the investigation.
Public outcry and the fact that she settled this civilly, and now she's like, okay, guys, obviously they didn't want to take this to trial. This settled for a reason. Hello?
I don't know
No?
if just because they settled, you can say that there was something there. I'm not sure you can draw that conclusion.
No.
Maybe they wanted to keep it quiet.
You cannot draw that conclusion, but I think you would at least speculate, right? You would at least want to.
Sure.
Want to know, like, you want to read. I don't know. That's just me. I think I scratch around and wonder, like, is there a link in between things?
Of course. I'm sorry. The average person, when they see a sex assault claim involving 8 potential, defendants get settled. Yes, things sometimes get settled for financial reasons, but there's some element of we don't want to litigate this in the media.
Yeah, I guess I know too much about civil law that I know a lot of the cases settle.
But here's the thing: I do want to say this. You have to be careful here now, because just because something's settled does not mean that there is not admission of guilt. You are still presumed innocent, and just because there's a settlement doesn't mean that the guys did it.
Of course.
Because that's something that has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
As Mariya said, different reasons for settling cases.
Right. And also there's a lot of media surrounding this
very much
incident.
so. It's Hockey Canada. They're NHL players, right? So there's going to be a lot of media.
And even if there's nothing to all of this, would you think that just because there is so much media attention to it that they would want to hush things down before, it just,
You mean Hockey Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I think that's very much a motive to settle.
Of course.
They have a whole fund for
I was
it.
going to say, it's not a he says, she says case. It's a he says, they say case. So I'm just saying.
They might have different stories.
They might, so we don't know that yet. But how would we start our defense in this type of case? Pretend they're not hockey players. Pretend they're...
Disclosure.
Give me my disclosure.
Okay.
I need to know. I need to get the complainant's statement. I need to know what the issues are.
Well, what about the unknown questions? Like, why did you not prosecute this further? Obviously, we'd want disclosure of, okay, what's triggered this? What additional evidence have you now accumulated that you didn't have then, right?
Well, their defense counsel would be privy to the additional evidence
At some
as
point,
part
yeah.
of the disclosure. But yeah, so interestingly, one of the articles mentioned that one police officer with knowledge of the case, they're not naming who it is, said that one of the reasons the investigation has taken so long is that a senior Crown attorney who had been slated to handle the prosecution left the job in the summer. And then a new Crown had to be brought up to speed.
That just sounds like people
Excuses?
throwing sand in the air. So what if one crown left?
No, we don't know.
I mean, I don't know, but I that's what I thought when I was reading this. This
Yeah, it's
whole, case closed, the investigation started, the delay.
Right. I think they're just trying to justify their delay. Okay, attacking the credibility of the complainant. You love doing this part.
I mean,
Where would you go in this type of case?
Not to interrupt, but I'm also
You can interrupt. You just did.
No, you should go
You
ahead.
should.
This is
I'm thinking, I'm wondering if this case is gonna go the route of she wasn't consenting. She's saying, right, she was intimidated by them, because at first I thought that she's going to be going the route that I was too intoxicated.
Right.
And I didn't. There was no capacity to consent,
Doesn't
right?
sound like
But
that.
doesn't sound like this
No.
anymore, right? Maybe it's still gonna come into play that she was also too
Maybe, but to
intoxicated.
be fair to her, 8 hockey players would be kind of intimidating under the circumstances, potentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's potentially, yeah.
if it happened, sure.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I only say
I
allegedly.
know you do. You should
So-
get that tattooed somewhere.
There's a mug.
Yeah, allegedly.
We have a mug. Maybe we can bring
Yeah,
it.
bring the mug next time.
No, but I
Next
can see
episode,
if,
it says
if
allegedly.
a situation like this can be very intimidating for sure.
Of course.
But I don't know. I mean, unless or not until I would like to see the video, for example. I would like
Which
to see
one? The one
both
where
the
she's
videos
saying-
in which there is
Yeah.
this conversation taking place. I would like to see that.
Right, and you can tell maybe a little bit more looking at the video whether she was, looking not sober or what this.
What was the environment like? How lit was the room?
Okay,
How
stop. Joe loves doing that. He does that. Stop.
Yes,
Go
so
slow.
go
Is
ahead.
that?
No, I'm not telling her to go slow. I wouldn't do that. So tell us what your disclosure request letter would look like.
I would
Start
want
at the
to
start.
see. First of all, I want the complainant's statement. I want to see if she can identify each and every individual who was in the room. I want to see.
Sorry, but we know that it's 8 players, but only 5 were charged. So there's already an issue with
Right.
identity of all the players.
I want to know why the other 3 were not identified. Is it
Right.
is it an issue of memory? Because if it is an issue of memory,
That's lower down in your letter. Go start
so
at the
we'll
top.
start with the complainant's statement.
Vanilla, basic request.
We'll take all the officers' notes and
and
whatever.
there might be a couple here, right?
Well, I was going to say, there may be more than one statement.
the 2018 and the one now.
And you and then you compare them, right, to see like if
course.
there's any. I know I'm like
Inconsistencies, etc.
Yeah.
Inconsistencies for
like-
sure. Yeah.
Okay, keep going through your paragraphs.
The videos, both of them, the text messages, that's important. Any surveillance videos from the bar?
the hotel.
The
The
hotel.
Hotel might have
Yeah.
surveillance
Hotel,
videos.
you know,
Yeah,
you'd want to
because you
see
have in the lobby
how
and,
she entered the hotel. What was her...
How was she while she was leaving?
Exactly.
But here's a question: would there be any videos from the hotel or the bar? Because if they didn't request it back in 2018, there's
Well,
small chance they would keep it up
But
until 2022.
I'm guessing
Right.
but I'm guessing it probably does exist because maybe that's one of the reasons they didn't charge, because they observed the CCTV videos from the hotel. She looked like she was walking normally as she entered. She left normally, so it might exist.
Maybe, and actually,
You still have to ask for it.
When I request surveillance videos in disclosure, I want to send the disclosure really fast because a lot
Yeah.
of places retain surveillance
24 hours or
24 hours,
Yeah.
a week,
Right.
a month, and there's a good chance it's going to erase really soon. So I wanted to send a disclosure. Unfortunately, by the time, it gets to the disclosure clerk, the crown attorney, the officer in charge. By the
Right, it's a
time they
long
go to
cycle,
get
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
there's no. And I have the case like that actually. By the time they went to even start looking into that, the surveillance was gone.
Okay, so do you ever write a letter to the holder of that record or the recording saying, "Why are you laughing already? Wait till I'm done."
Yeah.
Do you ever
I
write?
know where you're going. Go ahead.
Do you ever write a letter to the hotel, for example, saying, "Please be advised, I represent." Well, you don't have to say who. Please retain any video footage you may have.
Yes.
Good
but
answer.
in the case I am thinking of, I actually received the file from another lawyer who didn't request a surveillance. And
Well, that's why they came to you and left the
the
other
case
lawyer.
was like a year old. So by the time I started moving in that direction, the surveillance is gone. But and I know that resources for police are limited, but I was speaking to the crown attorney and saying it would have been like the client mentioned surveillance video maybe like 5 to 10 times.
Right.
It would have been nice if they went and secured it.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Continue with your letter.
But here's the question. Just because she looks like she's walking normal.
Yeah, I know it doesn't.
Doesn't mean she's consenting, but it could
Right.
mean that she is not very intoxicated.
That's true.
That's
true.
important.
Okay, next.
Are we doing the cheers?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But you can have a sip if you want. There's no rules. No wine rules.
I just thought we're gonna all together. No.
No, at the end probably. But so continue with your disclosure request letter. But you have
I
to
don't
sip.
know.
have
Maybe
the
maybe
sip.
give me some input in this. I'm interested. I want to know what the mother has to say. It's your say. I don't know what information
Well,
she
if
has.
the mother was there may be a 911 recording of the
That's
mother's
true
calling
as
the
well.
police, so there would definitely be some sort of recording of her calling the police, so we may be able to get that.
Well, they're saying that when they reopened the investigation, there's more witnesses that they interviewed. So there's apparently more.
All the
it's
witness
not. It's not
statements,
just the
whoever was there.
complainant. It's other witnesses. It's very important.
Okay, let me throw this at you. You'll love this. So, Hockey Canada conducted its own investigation,
Yes.
which they're refusing to release until the conclusion of the criminal case.
The appeal.
Do either of you two smell a third-party records application?
Sure. But
Explain what that means.
third-party records application is basically
You don't have to talk like you're a teacher now. They get it. They're good.
Well, we don't know that, so let me break this down.
Break it down.
Whenever I come on the show, I break things down.
You just love breaking
Sure, you're
things.
good at.
So third-party
She's
records application is if you want to get information or any kind of evidence that you wish to use in a trial, especially sex assault. And if it's in possession of a third party, not necessarily the police. So let's say you want psychiatrist records, you want CAS records, you want medical records, which has not been disclosed to you, you got to bring a separate application, which is called the third party application. And you got to explain what you want, why is it relevant, and take it from there.
Because it could be a gold mine. What happens if Hockey Canada has cleared them and the one person appealing is the complainant? They're finding. So there could be great stuff in there.
Yeah. And whatever, was spoken, during that, I want to know, the settlement. I want to see what was filed in civil court. I want those
Of course.
documents. I want to know what's the agreed statement of fact there.
Okay, so we'll get to this in a minute. I'm still in your initial disclosure request of the Crown. Then we're going to go outside that scope. So
And
what
just
else?
not to forget, we can also talk about the all the motions we have to bring to introduce those videos, right? The text messages, the videos, right?
Yeah.
This
But
is
we're
also not just,
No, but we're still on the disclosure letter.
I want to know if one of the accused or any of the accused made a statement. I don't know that, so I want to know.
Right.
So, I'll
It's
throw that
very
in there.
important.
Right.
I want to know if somebody's
And
throwing the other person
sometimes they
under
make
the
those
bus.
statements, unfortunately.
Regardless of what we tell them.
Yes.
Okay, so we've sent out our 2 or 3 page disclosure request to the Crown. Some Crowns received it and is scratching their heads and saying, "Oh, great, Newberger and Partners, here we go. Prepare for battle." Okay, that aside, we'll let that simmer. What are we doing with these external potential sources of information? What are we doing? So we have potential third party. So we're requesting Hockey Canada, give us your stuff. They're going to refuse and say privilege, etc. Who else are we approaching? Either ourselves or with our trusted private investigator.
I mean, you can even ask them
Yeah.
from the Crown Attorney, because, sometimes you never know. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Or sometimes you're told that you gotta bring the
Bring the
application.
Majority of the
Bring
times. Majority of the
application.
times. But you know what? I have been provided here and there information that I would consider third-party records.
To be honest,
happens.
so have I.
So I think
I
it-
do agree.
Yeah, you
It
can ask
doesn't hurt
for
to
it.
ask.
No. It's in the letter she wrote.
It doesn't
But
hurt
I'm just
to ask.
saying, irrespective of that letter that's now sitting somewhere, we're still going to ask Hockey Canada directly. Who else are we going to ask for stuff? The hotel for any CCTV.
The bar.
The bar,
Well, you can contact the civil lawyer.
of course. We can get any filings that have been filed,
Filed
in
in the
civil
civil
court.
100%, yeah.
It's a public record.
Maybe, unless I don't know if there's any ability to seal this kind of stuff. Because don't forget,
Maybe.
maybe.
Here's the thing. I've had different experience, like I mentioned last time. It was, even if something's filed in civil court or family court, this is a sex assault we're talking
Right,
about.
it could be sealed.
Could be, yeah, she can have privacy interests.
Right.
And you cannot just be like, haha, I got this and I'm going to use it to impeach the credibility. I mean, you still got to bring in your applications.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Keep going. You haven't stopped digging as far as I'm concerned.
Well, based on what I have right now.
No, you haven't checked out her social media yet.
Oh,
Favorite
yes.
social media.
We're going there. Okay.
I'll go everywhere.
You're going there. Okay.
But stop, because we don't know her name. I wonder if her actual name will be disclosed in the criminal disclosure, I would assume.
Yes.
Right.
For
Yes.
the defense
For the defense
For the
lawyer,
defense.
but not
Yeah.
everybody.
Right. So as soon as we got that name, where do we run?
Well, sometimes we actually, depending on the
Facebook.
Facebook,
TikTok.
Facebook for 18-year-olds. She was probably how old at the time? The hockey players.
Instagram. TikTok.
we actually don't know her age.
No.
We know their age. They have to be, 18, 19? They're young guys. But we don't know her age at all.
Well, we know that she's not a minor because if had she been a minor, they've not charged. They wouldn't be charged with sex assault. It would be sexual interference as well.
Right. So
Right.
we kind of have a sense of her age. We
I
don't,
mean,
we don't know
18
whether
to
she's
infinity.
a peer or a cougar. Who knows? We don't know how this went down, but
Right,
whatever.
Right.
So we have a name. What are we going to do with that name?
Well, I was going to say that depending on the case, sometimes we hire even a private investigator to do like a proper social media, investigation. Like we can do it on our own, but
You'd be tempted to do it on your own as soon as you had that name. Admit it. As soon as I have that name, I'd be Googling the hell out of that. But go ahead, yeah.
we
Properly.
on
I know.
some cases we'll hire a private investigator.
Well, in a case like this, we certainly would.
And it's not just the social media background they do. They dig up some other things that are helpful. Sometimes they interview witnesses for us. So many cases I had where police would just interview the complainant, lay the charges, boom, and then
That's
there's
most
other.
of our cases.
Then there will be
Yeah.
other people who, like, some would be present even during the alleged crimes, and others would just, also be relevant witnesses. None of them are interviewed, and
my
we
guess
have
is
to-
my guess is there was probably more than 8 hockey players in the pub celebrating that night.
Yeah.
Well, and we don't know how many they interviewed and
Right.
who wanted to provide a statement. We don't know any of that.
Okay, so social media. Any other sources?
Well,
Any witnesses that are available, obviously.
I mean, we also don't know if phones or any electronic devices of the hockey players were seized.
That's true, yeah.
We can
wanna
request
know.
for that.
Because weren't there some search warrants that were like granted?
They
I don't
were
know what
applying
was
for
if
some
it was
warrants, that's right.
for their cell phones or devices. I don't know, but like if they've been seized, hell yeah.
911 calls, what we call SOCO photos, which is
Any injuries on the complainant, any medical records,
Yeah. When it comes to sex assault, there's sexual assault kit.
DNA report.
If one was done forensics.
Yeah.
So does everyone understand now how hard we have to work on these cases? There's a lot of stuff. that has
Depending on
to-
the type of case,
Right.
you really craft your disclosure request accordingly, and you wonder like what is available, what can you get, what'll help you.
Right. And then last part, because we're getting close to the finish line here, is your own client. What are you going to ask the hockey player for?
Well, I want any and all communication if you have with the complainant for sure.
Photos taking, text messages, and chronology, right? Like you need to tell us in detail what happened, any witnesses you think are helpful, everything. We want all the information, and then we can decide what's relevant and what. Because sometimes the clients think that something is not relevant.
Right.
It could be
And it
relevant,
is.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, ladies.
Thank
Very
you,
informative.
Mariya.
Thank you, Mariya.
I have the case.
She has a case that she's been done. Okay,
But I don't
Tell-
know if we
just-
have time. It's okay.
you've been asking about this case for the past. Okay, share the case just briefly.
We have time.
Yes, we always have time. It'll turn into a special edition.
Well, you said that the case is not that interesting.
If to you it clearly is. So please share the case.
I'm gonna
But
quote
quickly.
a lot of different. No, I'm joking.
I know you
authorities here.
are.
No, will not.
I know you.
It's gonna be a bit boring. This is R versus IC, and this is two men.
What level of court? Where are we?
This is a court of
Situate
appeal,
us.
Ontario
Okay,
Court of
okay.
Appeal. So this is the highest court of Ontario.
Okay.
Okay, we have Ontario Court of Justice, Superior Court, Ontario, highest court in
I
Ontario.
feel like I'm being saluted, but thanks. Go ahead.
So there's two accused,
Right.
charged with sexual assault, and they go into a nightclub. One of the co-accused, he knows the complainant, and they start getting it on. Then they go to the car. Another friend joins. So there's two of them and the complainant. What I find interesting is that, and that's why I brought it up here during this Hockey Canada podcast, is that the complainant was recorded here giving a consent.
In the car?
Yeah. So the video recording her giving a consent, saying that this is all consensual. And there's also other photographs of recordings. So they're also sort of trying to document, I guess, that this is all consensual.
It's getting weird, but okay.
But the next day she wakes up, she says she doesn't remember anything.
Right.
She goes and she speaks to some friends. And then she goes and reports to police.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an appeal. So at the trial, there's a number of issues. The one that I find the most interesting is that the fact that the complainant didn't remember anything and that she was trying to, find out and piece together what happened, the judge says it's okay to take it as one of the evidence that she was too intoxicated to consent. One of the
Inferences.
the inferences that she was too intoxicated to consent because she doesn't remember anything, and she gets convicted.
He gets convicted.
Sorry, the two get convicted. The two accused.
Freudian slip, I know.
The two accused get convicted, and the Court of Appeal says it's all fine, and conviction stands.
Onwards to the Supreme Court of Canada, hopefully. Okay, thank you. Is it good to feel good to get that case out?
Yeah.
There's more details.
I know, but you just needed
But
that.
I
know.
guess people can look up the citation.
Max will have the site.
Hey,
yes.
you don't give the full citation. I'm sorry.
Sure.
You just said I
Glasses.
see.
Ready?
Oh yes, the glass clicking.
Where's the pillow? Oh, you guys aren't doing the pillow though. Don't forget the pillow. Cheers. Thank you.
Click.
Thank you.
Click.
Click.
Click, click.
Click. Yeah, because these are plastic glasses. We find it safer. Glass things get. Okay, seeing as you're appearing first time,
Where's
you
the
get
pillow?
right here. Ready. Okay, do you know the phrase?
Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's right here.
See, she's come prepared. A little bit more
A
enthusiasm.
little bit, yeah. You gotta,
Okay.
You gotta.
This is exciting stuff. You
Yes.
guys watch us.
No, you gotta read. Like there's
You
a
guys
script right in
like,
front of you.
comment, subscribe, and share.
But no, you said no. See, the first line.
Don't forget.
Right.
Like, comment, subscribe.
She did better than me. I asked for donation the
Share.
first time I read it. I
Oh,
said,
yeah, that's right.
donate.
Donate. Thank you. That was great, guys. Thank you, everyone.